There's 5 tools that I use in my wood turning, and with these 5 tools I can pretty much do everything. This one it's homemade. I made it out of a screwdriver. It's got a square shank, and then the tip is, they're about 45-degree angle. I sharpen them both up to a point, and this is, it's referred to as a Bedan, but also I believe it's called a beading tool sometimes also. I sharpen it so that it's got a slight angle on the tip, and I use this to make most of my tenons, and the angle is about the right angle for the dovetail on the jaws. It's just an old screwdriver. I put a aluminum piece of tubing on to make the handle longer, and this works pretty good for, I use it pretty much strictly just for making tenons. The next one, this is a tool that you have to have. I think everybody should have one. A parting tool. This one is a diamond parting tool, which means it's wider in the middle. You can see the line here, and then it gets narrow on each end. So when you're parting something off, the only part touching is right in the middle where this seam is. When you sharpen this, you always want to sharpen it so that the tip is in line with the wide part here. And I'm guessing probably about a 45-degree angle on both sides. And most of my tools are Benjamin's Best. They're inexpensive. Quality, I don't know what you would compare them to anything else, but they work really well for me. One of these days I'll clean it up. So parting tool, that's something that you really need. Okay, the next tool is a Skew chisel. This one here, I don't know what brand it is. It actually wasn't a Skew chisel when I got it. It had a different kind of tip on it. I'm not sure what kind of tool it was, but I just ground it to make a Skew chisel out of it. My Skew chisels, I have a curved tip. The angle is about 25 degrees, somewhere in there. And the reason that I curve the tip instead of having it straight is it's more versatile. You can use it for different things. I also use this for making tenons, and on the very tip here I have a slight angle that's about the same angle as the dovetail on my jaws. So if I go straight in, cutting in for a tenon, that'll make the right angle that I need. It also works really well as a scraper. I'll use it sometimes holding it flat, and you can use it as a scraper, so it works really good for that. So this is another tool that I think everybody should have. The next one is it's a 1/2-inch spindle gouge. Now I use this mainly when I'm hollowing end grain, and most of the time I'll use my bowl gouge. And once I get probably like an inch in, and I'm going deeper than an inch, like in a box or on a cup or a goblet or something like that, once I go past an inch, then I'll switch over to the spindle gouge. The flute is narrower, so when you're getting deeper into the end grain, the cutting edge is closer up, so the wing doesn't get in the way as much when you're doing deeper hollowing. So I use that for that. That's pretty much all I use this for. And then finally, my bowl gouge. This is a 1/2-inch bowl gouge. All my gouges are ground the same angle. I have a setting that I use, and I use it for all my gouges. So the bevel angle is 45 degrees. I have the kind of a swept back on the wings, and I have it swept back. It's not real far, but I have it swept back so that the tip of the end of the wing, this part right here, doesn't get in the way as much when I'm turning, because I'll use this on everything, on spindle work. If I'm getting down into the like doing a vase and I'm getting down in there, I'll use this, because with the swept back on here, the wing or this tip here doesn't get in the way. And then there's other techniques you can use to stop that from happening. But this is it's a Benjamin's Best also, and this is my workhorse. probably 95% of what I do is with this tool here, 1/2 inch bowl gouge. I like the Benjamins best because they have the flute is longer on the tool. I have some other tools and the flute only goes down to like here, so I mean you only have that much workspace, and then the tool you can't really use it anymore. This will last me a long time because I can keep sharpening, you know, all the way down. It'll just get shorter, but it's still usable. So so that's my workhorse. Okay, those are the 5 tools that I use. Other than doing like hollow forms, I can pretty much do any project with these 5 tools. And you can look over my YouTube videos with all the projects that I have in there, and pretty much every one of them can be done if you have these 5 tools. So that's my base, I guess you would say. One tool that I have here that I don't really use, it's a spindle roughing gouge. Now this is a tool that you could add to your tools that basically for me it only has one use, and that's for turning down your blank, like from square to round, or if you have a log and you're getting rid of the bark and everything. That's pretty much all you can do with this. You only want to use it when you're doing spindle work. Spindle work means like a log where the grain of the wood is running parallel to the bed. So anyway, that's another tool. I have links to all these tools in the description. And I think they're the same tools that I use, other than this is homemade, and this, I don't know what brand this is. I got this on a clearance at a wood turning store. So, but everything else I use is Benjamin's Best. So there's that. Another tool that I use, basically only when I'm doing bowls. And I don't have like a bottom feeder type of a gouge. That's a gouge that has a real, like a 70 or 80 degree bevel angle for doing the bottom of bowls. So I use this. This is just it's a homemade tool. I just used a 3/4 inch round stock, cut it about halfway down the middle, and then I just sharpened a pretty steep angle. I don't know what it is, probably, I'd guess probably around 70 degrees, maybe 80, I don't know, but it works. And I have the edge rounded. And then I use this strictly for if I'm doing a bowl. I'll use this on the bottom of the bowl to smooth it out. And normally when I use it, I'll use it at an angle. So I'm doing like a shear scrape rather than flat. Sometimes I'll use it flat, but most of the time it's at an angle. And that makes a smoother finish. So that's pretty much my that's pretty much what I use. So there's links in the description for these tools. Normally I don't recommend a starter set, because most of the time you buy it, it comes with 6 or 8 tools or something like that, and most of the time you can only use a couple of them. The other ones they're like some kind of scraper or something. They're pretty much useless to me. But I did find 2 sets that are starter sets that do have pretty much all the tools you can use. I put those in the description also if you're interested in that. So that's pretty much it on my tools. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you.